button here. All right. Make sure it's going to where it got to be going. All right, fellas, go get it.
Chippy, 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 chippy. It is Two Fans with a Mic. Yeah, the epic online show that started as a text thread. We are your
Yes.
hosts. I'm Draze. This is my brother, Green. And we are the guys, the two fanatics with a mic. Today, we have an amazing show for you guys, man. We're going to be talking all things NFL. We're not going to touch NBA today. All
Nope.
NFL. We are at that point. We're going to talk Seahawks, 49ers. We got to talk about the Eagles versus the Ravens. Huge game. Joe Burrow, is the season over for them? And of course, we'll get back to the Hawks. But before we do all of that, how was your weekend, fam?
Man, my weekend was solid, man. Like we were just talking before the show, man. For people who's not, on the coasts in the South, it has gotten cold, man. It is chilly. But for most, the weekend started a little bit early with Thanksgiving. So it was always good to just reflect. I reached out to you on our blessings, man. So it just kind of got the weekend started off right, was hanging out with the folks. Just a good reminder of what's what and what really matters, right? And there was a ton of sports. Thursday, we even had the Black Friday game, and Saturday was some good college, and then Sunday was a lot of good football, and even Monday night tonight was a great game. So
Yeah.
great weekend, man. I enjoyed it. How about you?
Can we give a quick bravo to the NFL, man, for this show that they put on this Thursday, Friday? I mean,
Yeah.
I
Bring
get
it
to
on.
live in the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want it to keep coming, right? I was at the barbershop and we were talking about the NFL and how wild they are to have put a game on Christmas. Like, the NBA used to, and I thought that there was like a deal between them or something. Like, you guys get Thanksgiving, we'll take Christmas, we're good.
Yeah.
The NFL was like, F that deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't have anything on paper. You know what I mean? It was a little wink and a nod, right? And the NFL this is how bad the NFL doesn't care.
Yeah.
Christmas is on a Wednesday this year, fam.
Yeah.
And they have a game.
Fire
The
it up.
NFL's like, the NFL, we're like, name me a time there was a game on a Wednesday for the NFL. It doesn't happen.
Bro. That's absurd.
This is them saying we leave zero money on the table.
Yeah.
None. And that's
Checks
telling
talk.
us every Christmas from here, there will be football. That's what it's telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my Thanksgiving was dope. Spent it with the family. Really small one. Like, we did chicken, not turkey this year.
Ooh.
So I just was like, we got a small family. It's me, my wife, and my daughter. We wasn't doing it big. Everybody wasn't coming into town this year. So it was like, well, then let's just do some chicken. So I did a bird, similar to I would do a turkey, but this time I did the bird. But then I turned around and I was like, you know what? All of the Thanksgiving food pairs well with fried chicken. So then I fried chicken as well. So we had fried chicken and we had the bird. Oh man, it was dope.
It was good. Yeah. No,
Well, speaking of Thanksgiving, the Bears from Chicago played against the Lions of Detroit. What do you feel about the debacle in Chicago? Me and you haven't talked about this, so I want to hear your thoughts.
It was a lot, man. First and foremost, they were getting their asses kicked in the first half. And I was just like, why did they even show up? Right. And so now the Lions are good, right? But damn, I respected how they went in at the locker room, at halftime into the locker room. And they came out with some fight. Caleb got speaking of, I really like he's a resilient dude, man. He'll look one way and then he'll just keep fighting, and then he'll just start dialing it up. And they played a great game. The defense stepped up too and started making plays, and it got really entertaining. but I know you're asking me this question because of
Yes,
how
yes.
the game ended.
Let's talk about the debacle.
You can't. We've talked a lot about the coaching staff there, and watching the game, I was being far more critical of Caleb, because I was like, yo, what are you like? And after hearing the post game comments of Keenan Allen, Caleb Williams, and then the head coach Eberflus, who doubled down, it was like, no, this is what we wanted to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They were essentially telling Caleb, no, just go, do it, go. We're not calling the timeout, go, right? And Keenan was like, yo, we did enough as players to win the game. Like, he didn't have to specifically say it in the way that he said it, which spoke volumes to me, which is just completely a fireable offense, especially the way you've been stinking up the joint. And we saw what happened. I told my boy Kevin I wouldn't let them back on the plane. That's how bad it was. So that's just inexcusable. You guys are fighting. Give me an opportunity to just see if the field goal's going in. Give me that excitement. We don't even get that. So,
speaking of which, I got a guy in fantasy football going, and if that game goes longer, I can get more points.
Come on.
So I'm just rooting for overtime because I got Swift playing running back. But back to getting focused. I am slightly different than almost everyone I've heard. And give me a minute before you pick up the gun, okay? Don't shoot yet.
Gotcha.
At the end, you can shoot, but not yet. I agree with Eberflus. I actually do. I agree with him. I think the call was to let the play go. Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at him letting the play go. I'm not mad at the opposite either. I'm with him, though. I let the play go. My problem is, now don't get me wrong, it's still his fault. He always gets the blame, right? When the clock hits a certain thing, the plan didn't work. You call timeout, right? But the plan is, I believe this. First off, I don't listen to what he said in his press conference. When he said we liked our plan, I think he was saying the plan. We had a good plan. We liked the plan. I actually agree with the plan. I know 1,000 analysts who disagree with me. I'm okay with you. If there's anyone willing to stand alone, it is. So you let because the timeout is the most valuable thing, and you only have one of them. Mm-hmm. And that one timeout you need after whatever completion you get. I'm going to need that timeout. That's the most important place to use it. Yeah. And so the plan is, Caleb, get a play in and go. But what happened is Caleb changed the play. Mm-hmm. So mid-thing, they said he started changing the play, which now this time I allotted you 10 seconds or whatever to get a play off. It's now, and then Eberflus is looking and it's going lower and lower. And a part of him is frustrated. Like, you're thinking, okay, he's going to get it off. He sees that he gets it. And then Caleb doesn't. So I blame Eberflus not for the plan being wrong, for not getting the timeout once it hit a certain point. Okay. But I'm not mad at the plan. The flip side of it is this. Let's say go the other way. There's 32 seconds left. Caleb gets sacked. You call a timeout. Let's walk out through that. So now it's third down. You drop back. You hike the ball. You throw it. Let's say he gets a first down. Right? So you drop back. You throw the ball. Let's say he gets a first down. Now there's 20-something seconds on the clock right now. Right? Now you either have to run up and check it, or you're trying to run another play, or you're trying to run on the kicking team. Yeah. Now let's say he throws it and he doesn't get a first down, but they catch the ball. Now the clock is running. Mm-hmm. So you have to run on, because you can't chuck it. You're on fourth down already. You're asking your kick team to run on, get set up. I don't like that. When it comes to my kick team, I never want to be in a scenario where they're running on the field, everybody's lining up. Those are where you get false starts a lot in the NFL. I don't want to do that. If I have a timeout, ideally, I would have wanted to save the timeout like he did. But I would have called a timeout when it got to 12 seconds. Whatever the thing, 12, I'm like, forget it. It didn't work. We're just going to kick it and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of that? Hammer me. What am I off? Where do you disagree with that?
I mean, I actually appreciate that perspective because I didn't view it that way. I was in the moment watching the game. And I hear you. I don't want my field goal unit running out there either as time is expiring. I don't feel that. But I just, after it played out the way it did, I would have just called the timeout when I was like, okay, this is not what I planned on doing. Let's just throw him out. And if Caleb's mad at me and the offense is mad at me, so be it. Shut up.
So when are you calling the timeout?
When it got to about, because I feel like he hiked it with about 9-10 seconds. Once it got to like 11-12 seconds, I would have just called it before he said hike, right? It would have been one of those things where he's saying hike, and then the refs are running out as the plays in, and like he just called timeout. And they're probably going to be mad at me, but I'm going to be like, we're not getting a quality playoff, right? And we're just going to try and kick the field goal.
And I would have been like, Caleb, I gave you more than enough time. It had 32 seconds left. You had enough time. What are you doing? And you're changing plays. And now let me be honest. I blame Caleb for a lot of that. Caleb was horrible down the stretch. And to me, the coach couldn't say it. What can he say? The same way he's doubling down, he's also saying in that double down, just like Keenan Allen is doubling down on, we did enough as players, right? Yeah. The coach is also going, we had a plan. We prepared. We've gone through this. He's really saying my quarterback got there and Caleb said it in his interview, I didn't even know how much time was there. What do you mean you don't? This is your one job. You're one of your most important jobs. I hate it. If you go back, go listen to Caleb's interview. It is the worst. He's like, I mean, you can't know everything and you can't fix everything. And then you're going, what are you talking? You can't know. Your job is to look at every play. Yeah. The quarterback's job is to look at the play clock and the game clock and know the down and distance and the situation. Yeah. That's your job. Yeah. And so now I blame the coach because your job is to be the safety net when he doesn't. But Caleb has to absorb a 32 seconds. What are you doing? Get a playoff. Like at the simplest of things, let's put Matt in his blame. What about Caleb? 32 seconds left. First off, you can't get sacked. Then when you do get sacked, that's on you. Then after you get sacked, you just don't get a playoff. They say they called a play and Caleb changed the play. Yeah. A couple of things. I feel you on that. And it's to be expected with I've seen Tom Brady think he had an extra down in a hurry-up situation with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he looked over and they turned it over on down. He was like, it's fourth down. And it's like, no, that was fourth down. Get the play. So, like, in the midst of it, when it's chaotic, like, it is your job, but it can get a bit overwhelming, right? And it won't be the first or the last time that we've seen that happen. And I'm not absolving Caleb of the mistake. I completely agree. He could have been better. But as a coach, I know I have a rookie quarterback out there. It's my job to save him from himself. You see coaches all the time call a timeout and then bark on their quarterback. That's what Eberflus should have did in that moment. Like, don't just let the clock dwindle down and then point. If anything, Caleb balled out to get you back in a game that you didn't have your team ready to play. No, I'm not doing that part. I was with everything you just said except that part of it.
He didn't do that?
Everybody did their job to get them back in it. Caleb didn't do that on his own. No. Everybody. The coach did his job. Caleb did his job. The receivers did their job. I'm saying this. The coach is at fault. Let's say this. We agree. The coach should have called timeout. We're done with that. He's got his blame. So this is the first blame. It's going on the coach. The total blame goes on him in terms of the first and the last, right? Yeah. Because it's your job to save him from himself. Now, on the flip side, Caleb, you didn't do your job well. You were bad in this instance on this drive. We're judging your 2-minute drill. You were bad, fam. In that instance, in essence, you played a large part in getting your quarterback fired. There are two people who are at blame here. It is the quarterback and the coach. Yeah. And if Caleb just gets a playoff like he's supposed to, He's supposed to know that. There's a certain part of it that the same way you say Tom Brady messed up and he thought there was 4 plays. He thought it was 4th down. It was already 4th, and he thought it was 3rd. That's on Tom. And Tom ate that. He ate that wholly. Nothing in this has been Caleb eating anything. You want him to grow, he's got to eat that and be like, yo, I got to be better. I screwed that up. There's another part of this that is, it doesn't absolve. 2 things can be true. What we're saying is it's the coach's job to save the player from himself. But it's the player's job not to need to be saved. The point is he needed to be saved. He shouldn't have needed to be saved in that. This was not hard. This was very routine. It's 32 seconds. It was a lot of time he let go off. On the sideline, did you see the player on the sideline jumping up and down? Like I'm at home going, bro, hike the ball. We do it all the time. We do it all the time when the clock's running down and it's 3, 2, 1 on the play clock. You tell me you've watched the game. You'll watch the game and be like, dude, hike the ball, get it off. Everyone's doing. Caleb, that was not going anywhere in his head. He was just, it was like, man, where are you, bro? So for me to put blame on Caleb doesn't absolve the coach. It is the coach's fault. But Caleb has faults in this, major. Like from a football standpoint, what are you doing, fam? Get the playoff. This ain't even hard. This ain't even like he didn't even know how. Fam, I'm just saying from a pure football standpoint. Let's just talk football. My man called a play and let the time run out. He didn't even know how much time was left. Come on, there's no way that's okay as you're a quarterback. I don't care if you're a rookie or it's still wrong. Like a few weeks ago, Anthony Edwards, what's old boy down there in the Colts? Richardson was in the game and pulled himself out because he was tired. What?
Yeah.
He still got to take that blow.
Yeah.
And they got on him and he got benched and they held him accountable. Remember I said it, when it comes to Caleb, he needs accountability too, man. And do you think he was just pure football?
Listen, I got you. So I want to rewind. I apologize. I never absolved Caleb Williams of fault and blame, right?
Okay.
He clearly played his part. I completely disagree that he was a large part, right? I said something that triggered you in that he was balling to get them back in the game, and you said everybody did their job. I didn't say he was the only reason. I just said he was balling. That's it. I'm not absolving that everybody else wasn't doing it. Keenan Allen played a great game. You know what I'm saying? Like, those guys did. My point in holding the coaching staff accountable, I don't believe in this coaching staff. I never did. I never have. So when I'm looking, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, because they were bad and failed Justin Fields prior to Caleb. They've been bad since then. They've been bad at hiring an offensive coordinator that was not good in Seattle, that was not good here, that no receiver has spoken highly of. Like, they've continued to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, right? So I'm holding them accountable for that. And if a team comes out flat, right, who do we take the Bears aside? I'm just asking you a question. If a team comes out flat, not ready to play, who do we normally point the finger to?
Coaching.
Okay, so they come out flat. So all I was saying was, listen, as a coach's job, it's a Thanksgiving game, a big-time game that I need. You're on the hot seat, and you guys come out looking like that. Not just Caleb playing quarterback, but also the defense was not making plays the way they were making plays in the second half. The offense wasn't dialing it up the way they was dialing it up in the second half. And so that's all I was saying. I'm not absolving Caleb of anything. I think it's extremely fair to be able to look at those things and to be able to hold them accountable. And I know that I'm right because the coach got fired. And no one else except Doomie is sitting there being like, yeah, nah, Caleb got the coach fired. No, the coach got the coach fired.
No, you're not listening. As typical as you're talking, through everything you're talking, I'm doing all of this because I'm like, where are you? Here's what I mean. Everything you're saying is right. I'm not judging. Here's the point. I'm not judging the coaching staff on their whole tenure.
Yeah.
That's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
If you want to have that conversation, I'm with you. That can be true. I'm just judging that last drive. When we talk about, I'm just talking about, hey, on that last 32 seconds, where do we put blame? I don't want to hear about what he did last week and last year, and he doesn't prepare quarterbacks. I'm just talking about the last 32 seconds.
Yeah.
In this last 32 seconds, what do we do in this moment? Everything else you're saying,
you call timeout. You call timeout.
No, I'm saying this. Everything else you're saying, I agree with you on. Everything, who they are, this coaching staff. I have an ability to look at someone who's a horrible coach and say, that's great. You've done some good things, a lot of horrible things, but you want me to judge you on these 32 seconds? Cool. Let's just talk about that. So all I was doing, so I want you to know, it's not that the firing is a larger thing. I agree with that part. I'm saying this 32 seconds, when I look at that, there are two people at fault. And when we started this, I gave fault to the coach. So I clearly was like, yo, okay.
We both gave fault to both of them.
So what about Caleb?
I said that I said Caleb is at fault too. I did not. I said
I haven't heard it. What did he do wrong? I'm sorry.
I said
what did he do wrong?
He let the clock run down. I said
I hadn't heard you say any of that. I heard you
because you're so ready to respond to me. I literally said I'm not absolving him of his blame. Right?
Okay. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? I'm not absolving someone doesn't mean you're blaming them. Does that make sense? It's the opposite, right? You're not actually pointing out his blame. You're just pointing out the fact that you're not absolving him. I'm waiting to hear the same way when it comes to the coach. You gave me a speech of what he did wrong. I haven't heard one speech of what Caleb did wrong from you yet. All I heard was, well, I'm not absolving him. Okay, great. Tell me what he did wrong.
Okay. I got you. My apologies. So everyone who watched the game clearly knows Caleb allowed the clock. I've had this conversation with this has been a topic over the weekend because it was the craziest thing. Yeah. Everyone that I've gone into this conversation with has understood that there was two people at fault, right? I chose, because we're on a TV show that we don't have all day to talk about, to get to the nooks and cranny of it, which to me is the bigger fault of the coach. If you rather me focus on Caleb, I could do that. But I didn't expect this to be a long discussion, so I focused on the bigger issue because the bigger issue also got fired. The bigger issue's been a problem. So I was saying what he did wrong in the 32 seconds.
So again, I asked, which I just asked 2 minutes ago, what did Caleb do wrong?
I just said it. He let the clock run down. For the third time, I said that. Now, I didn't lead with that. You're right. I didn't lead with that. And I was explaining to you why I didn't lead with that, because I didn't think we were going to spend this much time on the topic. So I chose to lead on the bigger issue, in my opinion, which is the coach. If you feel, in your opinion, the bigger issue is Caleb, that's fine. But mine, okay, so I just chose, if you would have liked, I could have talked about both of them. But I was trying to save time, and I just wanted to focus on the bigger issue, which was the coach. So that was the road I chose to go down. But I thought by me saying I'm not absolving him would show clearly that he has issues with what happened. But he also is a rookie quarterback. And if I'm a head coach, we see it with coaches who tend to have success with rookie quarterbacks are putting them in much better positions to succeed. I don't think Eberflus has done that or does that. So I wanted to focus on him.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I think you should go back and watch this and see the amount of time that you give to just pointing out Caleb's wrong. What I tried to do was both. I wanted, if you notice, I shared time on Eberflus and Caleb because I think they both had a major wrong in it. That's all I was saying, right? And on TV, I haven't heard no one's talking about Caleb. Like I watched Get Up.
It's understandable why though. Eberflus is the head coach who's a veteran coach.
No, it's not understandable why you don't talk about both. Like if two people do something wrong, what's being missed in all of this, because Eberflus is the bigger story and this has been going on for a while with him. What's being missed is how bad what Caleb did was. What he did was just like, yo, You don't do this. This was like, if Jaden Daniels did this, I'd be pissed. He ain't my quarterback, so I don't care. But if Jaden did it, I'm mad at because I'm looking at his development as a player and who he is currently. You still effed up, bro. And from a pure, because the coach is who the coach is and what's going on is going on, I'm saying we're missing that two things happened here. Two can be true. The coach did what he did, but it doesn't change the fact that he still screwed up big time.
He did.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. And that's, I didn't hear it. That's all I was saying to you when I was saying, yeah, no one's talking about that part of it. I know why, but I'm saying.
There's an elephant in the room over there. That's the bigger issue. That's the bigger problem. You have two problems. One's a bigger problem.
Yes. And both should be talked about because it's their job to do that.
No, I agree. But if you can only talk about one, which one are you going to talk about?
They have more time than us. They can do both.
I got you.
Okay, my bad. We'll move quickly on this. That wasn't supposed to go too far, people, but it did. This is us. NFC West dominance of the 49ers. Is it over? They just lost, I think, their third game in a row. They lost to the Packers, the Seahawks, and now just a game to the Buffalo Bills. Is Draze a prophet?
What Draze is a prophet by predicting that there's a lot that went into that Super Bowl run and that things were just going to fall apart. And that is exactly what happened. So Draze was a prophet for that. Round of applause.
Yeah. I'm coming after Boomer.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is like something to be said that, you know, when teams that lose the Super Bowl rarely get back, right? You know, now they don't fall off a cliff like this, but a lot of that has to do with injuries with this team that they've just been beat up pretty bad. But for me, I don't think the Niners have been dominating the NFC. I think they've been one of the better teams in the NFC. And so, you know, they've been getting – the Eagles sent them home. They went to the Super Bowl last year, obviously, and they were the favorite. But I think they will be a very interesting group. And I like that we're talking about this because I think the Bears could get a major gift. If the 49ers decide to clean house and they fire Shanahan, if I couldn't, as a Bears owner, I couldn't call this Shanahan guy fast enough, right? I think Shanahan is an exceptional coach. And I think he'll have the pieces to get it popping over there. I think the Bears need there's several coaches they could go after that. I think if they got the Lions offensive coordinator, they will be on and popping. But Shanahan, there's just really nothing to talk about. And I think if they fire him, not only is their run at being one of the better teams in the NFC over, I think the worst thing they could do is fire Shanahan, in my opinion, because they're going to already lose talent, right? But they're still going to have talent. They're still going to be a really good team. And so you're going to need a coach who could coach them up. Now, if you go out and you tell me you're going to go get Vrabel or you're going to go get the GOAT, then, hey, I'm interested. But I still think Shanahan can win with that team. But they have an uphill battle no matter what. And I think it's even tougher if they let go of Shanahan.
I love everything you just said. When you're like, yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't until you said it. You're like, if they get the GOAT. And I was like, I'm interested. I'm like, so am I. Like, all of a sudden, I might be. Vrabel, as much as I didn't want him for my team, is an interesting fit for a team like that. He is what they lack, right?
Yeah.
Like, what you get with Shanahan, you don't get the toughness that you get with Vrabel, right? Mm-hmm. Vrabel's going to put a toughness in them. They're a little more of a finesse team than they may want to admit. I think, I apologize, when I said dominance, the thing was dominance in the NFC West. They've been one of the better teams in the NFC West for a while now, right? I think that going into this year, I said that I thought they would struggle this year because the Super Bowl hangover. And then it's just really hard to get a lot of things. Williams, their left tackle, another year of age, right? You start getting that. McCaffrey, man, they got all you could out of McCaffrey when they like. He's never had healthy seasons in a row, right? So this new injury isn't new. It's just kind of like par for the course. What you got last year, you should have got it, right? Should have got it done while you had McCaffrey healthy and ready to go. So I think their dominance is over. The money's going to start ticking in, which I said. They got to make decisions about Brock Purdy. I'm happy. I'm here for it. If they fire Shanahan, there will be one happy guy over here.
Yeah.
Because I'm no idiot. They're dumb if they fire him. Every person I know, I talked to another 49ers fan this weekend at the bar.
Yeah.
And all he said is, we got to get rid of this coach. And I said, and he was with his partner. And I said, y'all are idiots if you do that. But I love it. Get rid of him.
I want him to.
I want it to be Mike and McVay. And the other guys to be kind of, when you get stuck with a coach who's not great, man, it can be a 4-year just, It's
tough. And coaching is so hard, man. To be able to find a Mike McDonald or LaFleur, or like these guys don't grow on trees, man. Like these, and I love McDaniels down in Miami, right? But you could see that he lacks the ability to play in all type of conditions, right? Yeah. And you can't be so one-dimensional in the NFL. And I think he has to learn how to add that element. To find Harbaugh, I can't say enough. I won't even get into Harbaugh. But to say this, if they fire Shanahan, I hope they do. Because I love when people think stuff's sweet, man. Oh, yeah, we'll just get in. All right. Okay.
Yeah. I hope they do. To think about what's happening in Miami, I really think that's just run its course. I do. I think his whole style of offense, what he did was great. He's got to find some way to mix that up and variate it, similar to what Shanahan has done with his. He's learned to variate his offense. We'll move on. Let's get to our main things NFL-wise so we can get to some Seahawks. NFL focus, Eagles, Lions, or the field for the Super Bowl. Who are you taking? The Eagles, Lions in the NFC, or are you taking the field? And why?
I'm going to go with the field. And it sounds crazy. But this is what I think two teams are shaping up to be extremely dangerous, right? And I'll put a third in there. The one team is the Green Bay Packers. I think they're shaping up to be a problem. And I think if one of these teams should make it, if not both of them, I really think the Seahawks and or the Rams, if they can get in, could be a problem. And then you look at
There's no way we're just walking off of that.
Yeah.
What? Say it again.
The Seahawks and the Rams. I think the NFC West is a really good division. If you look at the Rams are just really good, right? And then if you look at the Seahawks are really good. So we'll talk about Sunday aside, but they just beat up and dominate. You talked about the word dominate. They dominated the Cardinals last week. The Cardinals went into Minnesota, and I still don't know how they lost that game, right? For whatever reason, the Cardinals are a really good team. But it was shown last week that the Seahawks have a level that they can get to that is very, very problematic. Now, if I were to have one of those three teams playing the Eagles or the Lions, I'm picking the Eagles or the Lions. But I just think there's a better chance of those guys winning, especially the Packers, than what we'll get to on the other side of the fence.
In the spirit of moving time along, I will not spend time on your Seahawks new development. Yeah. I'm loving this, people. I can't wait to get more info out of we look good. But my thing on them, I'm taking the Eagles and the Lions. I'm not taking the field. Okay. They are that good. I like the other teams. Every last I probably would not have taken, my third team would not have been the Rams. I don't see the Rams doing it. The Rams seem like they've got some flashes of things. Yeah, but they're just not enough. Defensively, they're not enough. There's times you watch and you go, yeah, this team, they got little things, but it's not enough. Next year, it's going to be really good, but this year it'll just come up short. Yeah, and I think the other two, the Seahawks and Green Bay, are really good. Like, they got shots, but I'm taking Detroit and I'm taking the Eagles for the reason of, they just look like this is a step above the rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's ask the same question over in the AFC. If you had to take two teams, are you taking the Chiefs and the Bills, or are you taking the field?
Man, this pains me, man. But I think I'm going Chiefs and the Bills. It's, you know me, I'm not betting against the alien, right? And so if whatever side if he's in the field, I want the field. If he's in the minority, give me the minority, right? I still don't know how they won the Super Bowl last year. They looked awful going into the playoffs and still won. When I look at Josh Allen this year, he looks like a guy who's tired of hearing Randy talk about he's not one of those.
Mm-hmm.
He's tired of the Randys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually it gets to a point where the greats become great. And I could see it happening. In the field just isn't heavy to me. Like, I don't think the Chargers or the Broncos are going to do much like to get to a Super Bowl. I worry about the Ravens defensively. I really do like the Steelers, but I could see the Steelers losing. And I don't believe in the Texans like that. I truly believe that now I think all these teams could win a game, but when we're talking about going to the big dance with Kendrick Lamar in the building, I got my money on either the alien or Josh Allen.
I am taking the field.
Ooh.
Absolutely taking the field. And for this reason, when it comes to the AFC, everything you say is right. I'm scared as hell because of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Let me be honest. He scares me. I don't like the way people are talking about them. No one's getting it. I watched a whole show of people telling me why they can't win, and I said, why can't they win? I don't have a reason why anymore. I'm watching them, and I'm like, we got a good defense. Yeah. This thing going on with DeAndre Hopkins is looking better and better.
Yeah.
And I just got the report Hollywood Brown's coming back. Hold on, man. Wait, why can't they win?
Come on now.
Back. Wait, what? Tell me again why we can't win. I don't know. It's scary. But I'm taking the field, and here's why. I believe in the Ravens. I do. I believe. Their kicker screwed them. They got to figure that out. They've lost a lot of big games because of him. If their kicker's kicking even anywhere near decent, they win that game this past weekend, right? But he wasn't, and he's not. And so I don't know if he's going to get better or if they're going to get a new kicker, but I know it will be addressed. I believe the Ravens and I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it. Like, somewhere between those two teams, I really like both of them too. I believe both of those teams can be either of those teams. Either one. I really do. Will they? I don't know. The harder team to beat is Kansas City for whatever reason. I love what Josh Allen and them are, but wouldn't shock me if they just came out and, like, if Josh Allen had to play the Ravens, like, I got the Ravens, fam.
I got the Bills.
Oh, really?
Emphatically, like it, and I never feel this way about the Bills. Like, I'm usually on the same bus as you, but like I feel like this year is different, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no, he's playing lights out of this world. But there comes a point. It's just a belief. Yeah. There comes a point where it's going to come down to talent, and he's not going to have enough. That's what I believe. We're going to get to the playoffs, and there's going to come a point, and it's just Lamar's got enough, and you don't. And they're handing the ball to Derrick Henry, and they're going to really feed and really do it come playoff time. And it's cold in Buffalo. And they're going to be like, yeah, we're ready for the cold. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be Miami coming in or San Francisco. Yeah. Oh, no, it's going to be Lamar and King Henry, and we're going to hand it off, and let's go. And that Ravens defense has been playing really good the last 3 weeks. Yeah. It is not what it was. They've kind of flip-flopped. The defense is getting better while the offense is doing some head scratcher. But this is why we play the games. We're waiting to see. Yeah. You know? um, Ladies and gentlemen, we have a treat for you today as we get ready to do some Hawk Talk. Like we always do on this show, we got one of our compadres, a guest joining us this week, hailing from Seattle, Washington, but now living down here with me in LA. Sunshine, summertime, you know what I'm saying? We are proud to welcome for the first time my guy to the stage, Pender. Welcome to Two Fans with a Mic. Where you at, family? Can we bring him in here? Dirt. We're trying to get our guy in. One sec, people. You know how we do it, man. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There
we go. What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening?
I'm excited, man. You guys got the energy. Like, I wanted to interject so many times from backstage on that conversation.
You had something you wanted to say, huh?
Yeah. Just, in general, like the 49er stuff, the Shanahan stuff really triggered me. But yeah, I'll let you guys drive it, man.
All right. So we brought you on to talk some Hawks, Hawk gang. So real quick, just on your own, what's your recap from the Jets game? I'll let us all give some thoughts. Anything that you feel from it, we want to hear from you.
I mean, as you know, I was texting you in real time when that first half was happening and all the special teams debacles. Like, never seen anything like that in my life, and I was over it. I was saying, let's end this game. It's done. There's no way we're winning this. It's just going to be a heartbreaker. We're probably going to come back and lose late. But to see us pull it off was, I don't think Pete era Seahawks would have pulled that game out.
Mm-mm.
And I think that's what's standing out to me this year is the style of wins and losses. And I like what Mike McDonald is building because the games don't feel so ridiculous. They still are like those squeakers sometimes, but they feel more reasonable. Like, things happen that made it, go that way. Like those snaps over Geno's head or these special teams debacles, like those types of things I can understand. But a lot of the times in the Pete era, it's like, wait, how are we here? Why didn't we pick up that 4th and 1 or that 3rd and 1 or go for it on 4th and 1? Those types of calls really irritated me. So it seems like Mike's calling better games overall.
What you got, Green? What's your thoughts on the Hawks, Jets, anything?
I like this Pender guy, man. I agree with first and foremost, that was an awful game. Both sides of it. Like, if you like high level NFL football, you were just disgusted by what you saw on both sides of the ball. The Jets with 10, 12 penalties in the second half alone. The Seahawks just coming out flat. But it was crazy. Big up to my guy Draze. He called it. He was worried about the going across country. But I feel like the reason why he got his ass cut was a lot of it was just Chenault. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, he was purposely trying to lose the game. But the thing that stood out, I'll try to be quicker, is McDonald he's just pushed the right buttons, man. Like, the way this defense is playing, me and Draze would sit at week 4 and just be like, yo, and I'd be like, yo, I don't know what it is. I just feel like they just need more reps together, man. Like, he's like, well, the talent's there. I don't want to hear about talent, bro. Like, the talent's there. And I was like, man, you just got to be able to play together, and all that stuff matters. And you look at this team now, you take out linebackers and bring in new ones. And then Julian Love is just so good. Like, he's just so good. Like, this team, I was impressed by them winning that bad game. That says a lot. I agree. Pete Carroll would not have won that game. Plays were made to grind that game out, and I was impressed.
Yeah. Leonard Williams balled out.
Leonard Williams.
2-1 came through when he needed to. Like, I love his effort and his enthusiasm. Like, those turnovers, him getting those big blocks. Without those, we don't score on some of these. Love, he surprises me, honestly. Like, I wasn't a big Love fan. Last year, he did some things that made me feel good about letting Adams go and stuff, but he's definitely showed out, and I appreciate him for that. So I'm not sold completely, but like, he's showing me that, like, he belongs in the defense that we're trying to build. And then Reek, 27. What's going on with your man, Draze?
Hey, can I say something real quick, Draze?
Please go ahead.
Real quick. The reason why I love Love is when you watch sports, I tend to like guys who jump off the screen, like do something like, "Ooh, who made that hit or who made that pass?" And then when there was a late play where somebody caught a pass and got way down the field in the clutch, and Love got in Woolen's ass and was barking on him. And me and Draze have talked about, like, we need more of that on the team. And I was like, this is that. I like that. Right. And so, like, I think he's growing. Drace told me too. He was like, yo, just give it time. Like, guys will grow. They're young. They'll grow into these roles. And for him to do that to Woolen, who is one of the most special players on the defense, spoke volumes. And so I like stuff like that.
Yep.
In a second, we're going to get into the defense, the new look defense. But I'm going to give my quick synopsis on the game. And then we can talk about really this defense from the last 4 weeks, right? Because it's a new look defense. But great game. When the game started, my initial thoughts were, oh, okay, we're in a trap game. Clearly, we are in it. It started. It felt like 10 o'clock. I texted it out to everyone else, probably besides Randy, because we had just been feuding about Kevin Durant. So I was like, he's not in my Seahawks conversations today. Everybody else is getting this. So, no, that really wasn't the reason. But I texted out to everybody. I'm like, yo, it feels like 10 o'clock. Okay. It was frustrating because I know Mike approached it trying to resolve that. He did everything Pete did. He changed our morning hours. Nothing worked. Whatever he did, nothing worked because we got there, and for the first quarter, it was 10 o'clock. Okay. Yeah. And that's just what it was. And then there was just that odd thing, once in a lifetime, 2 fumbles on special teams. In addition to that, you get a kick blocked. It was a special teams nightmare, right? Then they return a kick. I said, this is the worst special teams game I've ever seen in my life. But then something happened. Adjustments happened. Even at that point, one of my guys hit me, and I said this to you, Pender. I sent it to you, and I was like, nah, we just need to settle in, play our game, and we'll get the win. Like, that's how I felt. I felt like, yo, the game's not out of reach. This team's not better than us. They're not really beating us like that. We're beating ourselves. Okay, let's see if they can beat us. And once we settled in, oh, man, things were good. Things I liked about this past week, I like the fact that the running game got a little bit going. It just looked a little better than it has in the past. So shout out to Mike for changing out the right guard, going with this rookie, and giving him a 6th-round pick, and we gave him a shot. That, to me, this week, to hear Mike be like, oh, no, there's going to be a competition at the right guard. I was like, whoa, really? Like, Mike is NFA right now, y'all. He doesn't care. Anybody can get it. If you don't fit, you must quit. When he got rid of those linebackers a couple weeks ago, everything in that locker room has changed. Every week, he's not playing around. And we just cut Chenault. Like, Mike's not playing around. My big move of the game, and then I'll say 2 more things. One, the Geno thing is really bothering me right now. Every game he does some head scratchers where you're just like, God, man, like, why are you regressing so bad? What's wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this week, it looked like he was all in his head trying not to make the mistake. And so now you're not making the plays the way you normally do. But my big move that I loved of Mike's early in the game, they were picking on Job, right? They were picking on him. Aaron Rodgers threw the touchdown pass was on him. All the big plays were on him in the first quarter, right? And we made a move that was like, I like that. We took Spoon and we put him on Devontae Adams. And from the second quarter on, when he was on him, curtains, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I want to know that my corner can do. I need to, because I didn't know, is it Woolen? Is it Spoon? Who should we put on him? Spoon balled out against Devontae Adams because Adams was killing us for a moment. You know what I mean? And we put him on it, and it changed the complexity of the entire game. But I'll stop. I digress. I could go on and on and on about us holding them scoreless for the entire second half. Big move by the defense. So with that being said, my next question to you, Pender. As I said earlier, about 4 weeks ago, Mike makes a big move. He gets rid of a starting linebacker. He trades for another. Since then, this defense has been a top 10 defense in the NFL. I want to say, I know up to last week we were like a top 6 defense, right, in that stretch. What do you think about the new look defense? What do you like about it? What don't you like? What do you want to see?
Yeah. Like you said, like we talked about it at the beginning of the season, like where's our gaps or our weak spots on the defense, and I said it was that level too. It's the linebackers. Wasn't sure what we get out of them. Didn't really have a lot of confidence or feel for that. And so beginning of the season, when everyone was healthy, minus Nwosu, we were looking good. Like obviously we're playing lesser teams, but we looked really good, and we look then how we look now. And then those injuries happened. And once those injuries started happening with Big Cat and Murphy, and I think Spoon went out for a game or two, Reek, Julian Love, like we had so many injuries that chemistry that we were building and that momentum that we were building kind of went away. And the offense was rolling at that time, so we were able to stay in games and keep things going. But now that sort of flips, and I'm curious why that happens. It happens a lot, right? When defenses roll and the offense isn't, and I'm curious what happens in practice that allows for that. But yeah, like the 49ers conversation, right? Like a Kyle Shanahan. When we let Pete go, I was like, who are we going to replace and bring in that's going to like take these ingredients and these pieces that we have that are like playoff ready and actually execute and get us to that level again? And Mike to come in and do it the way he's done it this year has been surprising considering the injuries and the ups and downs. So to be at 7-5 right now, it's pretty crazy.
What do you think about this defense, Green?
I'm impressed, man. I think I was talking to Kevin, and I was like, I think teams are really starting to be concerned about having to play this defense. You said it yourself. You were like, yo, I'm just happy that now, you look on the schedule and like, oh, you guys got to play them. Well, they got to play us now too. And I think that's the case, right? I still have a lot on potential, because one thing that I will say that I saw, granted that was a bad game Sunday, but there were definitely plays to be made out there. The Jets just weren't able to make them. And when you play better teams and better competition, teams might be able to make those plays that Aaron Rodgers was not being able to make, and these fumbles and stuff like that. But like I said earlier, I hold a lot of substance in the fact that they truly dominated a really good football team just a week ago in the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals went into Minnesota and should have won that game. Minnesota's a tough football team. And so I think it bodes well for the potential of this side of the football. And if they continue to oil and improve, they could really be a tough team moving forward.
I take that, and I take that they dominated the Rams 3 weeks ago. The Rams was the first week this defense was together. We held the Rams to 13 points in the game. Like, the Rams are a good offense, man. That's a hell of an offense, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first week that I remember going, man, there might be something here, bro. Let me see if this just kind of. And then the next week, and this was the first week I was like, oh yeah, no, we are a defense now.
Yeah.
I don't know how good the defense is. I don't know how good we are yet. I know we're good, though, now. I know we're good. We're going to find out, because down this stretch, we've got Minnesota. Down this stretch, we've got Green Bay. We've got Chicago, and we've got the Rams, right? And we've got Arizona. We got 5 teams, right, that are all really good offensively. So we're going to find out what this defense is and how good it actually is. Things that I love, the Ernest Jones pickup, massive. But I want to credit Mike Macdonald with something that I feel like no one knew who or what, but people said it. You in particular, Randy, said it. You were like, he's going to unlock certain people, right? And I was always like, where's the unlocking, right? Everybody's locked up. I'm not seeing it. And I want to talk about Leonard Williams and what Mike did in Baltimore with Metabike, and now I'm starting to see Leonard Williams, who is the highest paid player on our defense, look like it. That's what his job is to be, right? And Leonard's talked a lot about how he's put me in a position to rush. He said, I heard Mike's interview this week. He said, look, we're not really allowing Byron Murphy to rush because we got Leonard Williams right now. So there's roles to this, and it's like one day you'll become that other role, kid. But right now you're taking one for the team, so he can get after it, right? So I love that he has unlocked him. I think that's amazing. To your point about Love, I love him. He is one of the best players on this defense. Like, Spoon is amazing. Love is amazing. Ernest is amazing. And so is Leonard Williams. My question marks on this defense, my concerns are Woolen is a concern at times, right? He gives up some stuff. And to your point, Randy, there was a lot of meat on that bone for the Jets. It was just Aaron Rodgers. So, it was old Aaron Rodgers. And to some credit, it was the pass rush being around Aaron Rodgers. So some of that is just a part of it. But my biggest question mark on our defense, which I think is good, so I don't want anyone to hear that wrong, is our defensive ends have slowed up drastically. The first 3-4 weeks, we were talking about Mafe and Hall, and we were just, it was woo, and they're flying off the edges, and I've seen nothing. Like in the last few weeks, it's actually been Leonard Williams and Draymond Jones has been better than Hall and Mafe to me. There's no sacks coming in, minimal hurries, and for that reason, I'm excited to get Nwosu back. I believe Nwosu is our best pass rusher, or he was when he was healthy. And to add him to this defense, he's a veteran. He knows how to go through the dog days of an NFL season. And adding him to this defense, I think we might see the best Nwosu we've ever seen of him because he's never played with a defensive line this good. He's never got to. When he was here, he was the guy who we had brought in through free agency, and we were in a rebuild at that point, right? So, we drafted Mafe, freaking rookie coming in, right? And he was a rookie, right? Hall wasn't even here, right? None of these guys, this whole D-line wasn't there. You know what I mean? So now he gets a chance to play with a really good defensive line. My next question is about the offensive line. The offense as a whole, what are you feeling about the offense, Pender? What do you like about it? What are you concerned about when you look at this offense?
Yeah, I'm concerned about the offensive line in general. Like, we haven't been able to run the ball very well. Kenneth Walker is getting hit in the backfield consistently. Charbonnet feels like he's got like cinder blocks on his legs a lot of the times. Great blocker, does that work fantastically, but like is not great at running the ball this year. Last year he had some moments. But like I like the rookie that came in. I think he performed well. I haven't watched the tape, so I can't say who did really well, but it looked like we got some motion and movement with the offensive line as far as the run game goes on Sunday. But we're seeing a little regression from Geno. And I'm trying to figure out if it's Geno's poor decision making, play calling, or if the offensive line is just so inconsistent that Geno doesn't have the confidence to do what he needs to do. So that's something we talk about all the time, Dre, is like what's happening truly. And based on what I'm seeing, I think it's a combination of the three. But overall, why do defenses really feel confident in the way that they do against our offensive line every game?
Yeah, I just don't think we can fix the O-line. I think we've done all we can. This, what you seeing right now, this is it. This is as good as this. We're gonna work with that. One thing I do want to see offensively that is a concern to me. Me and Kev talk about this a lot. Green is just short yardage passing.
Yeah. Right.
If you can't run the ball very well, then you should implement some level of 4-yard passes.
Put K9, put K9 in the screen game, and I guess the last few weeks we've done like little dump offs to him have been like some sketchy passes by Geno. A few of them almost got intercepted, few dropped. Like, I don't know if he has stone hands or what, but like we're not using him in that short yardage game enough, considering our run game not working and being kind of predictable.
To me, it's all of them. Like, to me, a guy, when I say short yardage, our short yardage killers to me should be Jackson Smith-Jigba and Tyler Lockett. Like short receivers who are quick and can turn and man, go get 4 or 5 yards.
We used to complain about that,
like,
though. We used to
it feels
complain
like
about the
all
bubble
of the
screens.
routes. It feels like all the routes are like 20 yards or something. Like, you ever seen Geno drop back? It's like he's waiting forever. I'm like, man, where's the little 4-yard, 5-yard? For me, that's a frustration. It's not. It's something that I look and I go, I'm not looking for. You know how I see this thing, Green. I'm constantly looking for what can we look forward to get better, right? Remember when I was first saying Abe Lucas, Abe came. We've gotten better at the line. And then it's like, oh, we can look at Nwosu. He'll be there. Like, there's things that, Ernest Jones, new linebackers. There's nothing else coming. This is it. This is the Seahawks. This is the 2024 Seahawks. So based on this, I can safely assume the running game got a little better this week with this guard. That's as good as it's going to get. So what does that mean? Add a short yardage passing game as your running game. The Patriots used to do it a lot. Just like, okay, if we can't run the ball well, we need to be able to on first down. We need to be in second down and 6. You know what I'm saying? And not second down and 10. Green, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I mean, I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention JSN. I think his emergence has been it gives you hope, right? That at some point they're going to unite. Meaning him, DK, Tyler Lockett, and Geno, right? Because if you're hoping that the Seahawks get into the playoffs and make noise, it's that the defense continues to do what they're doing, and that now, DK's been a little slow coming off of the injury. Eventually, he's going to – because usually guys, when they first get back, they're not really healthy, but they're healthy enough to get out there, right? Yeah. And then as they start playing more, they start to get back to themselves. And so the idea is – we can start getting the big playmaking from DK up top, and then JSN keeps working over the middle. And then when you forget about Tyler Lockett, bye-bye. That's the hope. And JSN is showing that he is going to be a major contributor. And I've really liked he's been dominating, man. He's a good talent.
He is. I love the thing. Geno missed a few throws this week that really bothered me. There was the one you said, Pender, over the middle to it was like a little screen play that we ran to K9, and he missed through it behind him. Yeah. There was the touchdown pass to DK. It's like if he doesn't throw that behind him, DK slows up to go get the ball. But if that ball's out front, that's 6. And those types of things open up the whole game. That's my point. Any one of the missed throws that Geno had, if you hit them, it changes how the defense has to respect you, right? So to your point, Randy, if we can take off the top once, even if we don't hit on it, right? Sometimes take off the top and just get these safeties thinking about it. It's only going to open up for JSN more. And then the guy who's just a head scratcher to me, I almost don't even want him anymore, is Noah Fant. I'm just like, yo, he looks weak when he catches the ball. I'm just like, man, what happened? The other tight ends look better than he does. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't want to get rid of him. I mean, you're here. I think we can rid of him after this season.
I've been saying it. Like, he's not it, man. We got to just stop holding on to hope, man. Hope doesn't win games.
No. Okay, what I mean by it is, I think you're missing my point. That's okay. We're actually saying the exact same thing, but you just fire the gun so loud.
I'm sorry.
Get rid of him. That's all good. You're the fastest gun in the West, man. My God, you're just no. But what I'm saying is, I got him for the year, so I need him to just play, right? I got him. Yeah. Let's use him in the mix, fine it. But when the season's over, let's walk. Like, yeah, he can go. Good. I'll go with Barner, and he's up. I got to see life without him, and I didn't miss him. And then he got back, and I didn't know he was back. Like, it was kind of like he caught one pass this week, and he just looks. It's no explosion. You remember how he used to look in college? He looks so explosive, man. All right, let me stop. One last question we got, Seahawk-wise, a big one. All right, we've all made a lot to do about Geno Smith. Starts off the year really hot. I believe he's still leading the NFL in passing yards. Okay? Starts off the season really hot. However, he is second in the NFL in interceptions right now. Okay? So these are important numbers for us to know, right? What are you thinking now at this moment? Almost in the vein of like we said with Noah Fant. Noah Fant, right now we're all saying, get rid of him when it's over. When it's over, let go. Where are you guys at with Geno Smith? He's an interesting character. Do you want to bring him back? Do you want to pay him? If you want to bring him at a discounted rate, is it a like? What are you thinking? What are we gonna have to do? And if he don't want a discount, are you letting him walk? Who wants to take this one first? It's gonna be interesting.
Go ahead, Pete.
I don't completely know how I feel. Like I love Geno. I love his resurgence. I love what he's been able to do for the Seahawks since coming. But like you said earlier, he's showing regression, and he's showing signs that he may not have the next level that we need in order to win a bowl, which is that Lamar, that Josh Allen, that Patrick Mahomes. I think he has it in him. Will he be able to put it together is the question. So I want to see us draft a quarterback next year. I want to keep Geno. I think he's one of those guys that maybe he's gone through enough to feel like, okay, this is a home for me. They've given me a chance, and this is where I flourish the most. Going outside of this is a risk. So let me wind my career down here. That's how I would approach it if I were him or if I were in his corner and talking to him. But money talks. If you can get money elsewhere, you're gonna go get money elsewhere. But yeah, I think the Seahawks, if I'm the GM, then I'm trying to get them back at a discount, and if not, then I'm gonna like hedge my bet on rebuilding, find somebody else that could potentially come in for 1 year, or find that draft pick that's ready to go day one.
Green, what you say?
Yeah, I'm with him. Like I love Geno, man. I think this city is extremely hard on their quarterbacks. And I think, on one end, you're like, you never lie, Draze, about Geno. Like it's factual, right? But when I watch him, though, I still see a guy who, to me, won the game down in San Francisco against the bully. You know what I'm saying? Which was a huge, huge win for the Seahawks. I think it changed the trajectory of the season. So he has that in him. But I have never felt like he's the quarterback of the future, just for so many reasons. Like, he's a good quarterback that you could win games with, but I don't think he's great enough to win a Super Bowl with. And I don't think we don't have a Saquon Barkley back there. And, I love DK, but he's not AJ Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's and so you would think that to hoist, you need better play from your quarterback position. And I think you have to invest in it sooner rather than later, or you're going to miss this next window. And so I would love to bring him back at a good price, because you would love for him to go in next year as a starter and then catch the rookie up who you draft. But if he's trying to get paid and I'm not mad at him, then I would have no hesitation doing this.
Okay. Because that's the thing that really matters to me, is like, are you willing to let him go? Like, all the stuff we all are talking about, and we can all talk till we're blue in the face. Y'all ready to let him go? Yeah. Right? Because the opposite of that is we could find ourselves in purgatory.
Yeah.
It can get worse.
Yeah.
You can draft a kid who comes in and we're all like,
yeah,
he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
You can draft Trey Lance. Like, you can. Right? Like, you can look up and be like, oh, snap, we got one and it ain't it. And so now what do? We're floundering, right? Everyone loves the hope of a new draft pick. Yeah. That's what draft picks are. They're hope. They're hope.
Yeah.
But as the Bible says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, fam.
Yes.
And if that hope doesn't pan out, you're frustrated. And so Geno is a tough one for me. We have no choice but to write it out. But I'm going to say, never have an ending of a season / playoff run been more important. He's getting to the point, the way he's playing, where, and this is hard to do with me, where it almost doesn't matter when we get to it. When it like, okay, we go to the playoffs and it's over, and I'm going to be ready to say, yeah, I'll holla. Right? He's getting me there. I'm not there, but he's getting me there. And the only reason is because, and when I say I'll holla, I don't mean I just want to cut you. I mean, here's the number, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
You got to do what's best for us. I'll keep you, but here's the number. And John can set that. I ain't, and it's not gonna be cheap either. I'm not even saying it's cheap.
Right.
It's just not gonna be anywhere near top 10 money. You're not gonna be there. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be close to what you're making right now. I think he's making like 28 or something like that. Yeah, you're making up. You're rich. You're rich. But are you okay with that? And if you want to walk, and I think to your point, Pender, he might take it simply because of everything he's been through. He's giving us enough ammunition at the bargaining table, though. I will tell you that. He is giving John these interceptions. You're second in the league in interceptions, homie. You know what I'm saying? All the mistakes you're making are enough to go, hey, man, you did these things, right? Like, we don't feel like we can just count on you in the way of Josh Allen. And so in order to build around you, we're going to need these extra dollars to go build what you need around you. And we're going to have to go draft the next thing in case you can't do it. Do you want to do that or not? And if you want to go somewhere. So I'd say right now I'm at set my number. The only thing, let me ask you a question, because we're all saying the same thing. We're at set your number. And if he doesn't take it, you let him walk. Is that fair? Okay, so now, what if Geno gets us to the NFC? What if Geno, you there, Pender? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I got a call. My bad.
All good. What if Geno gets us to the NFC Championship and we lose? Are you now like, let's keep him?
No, because that might be the proof we need that he's not the right guy to take us over the top. It depends on how he performs in that game or how that game plays out.
Okay, Green, what about you? Let's say he balls. Let's say Geno has a really good game in the NFC Championship, but we lose. Does it change anything?
No.
Super Bowl, does it change anything?
I mean, do we win it?
No.
We still need to draft for the future, regardless of any outcome.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about drafting. That part is done. We are all sold on we need to draft someone. We're good there. The next question is, are you giving him the take it or leave it?
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, regardless.
Okay.
So, Pender, if you don't mind. Okay. So, let's be real here. First and foremost, we resurrected you, first and foremost, fella. Okay? Secondly, like you said, he's been good, right? Like that's. I don't even think he's been really good. I think he's been good, and I like Geno. Draze, you could attest. I like Geno.
Yeah,
he's been good. He hasn't been really good, right? And secondly, I have to do what's best for the team. I don't think we could find anyone who feels giving Geno a ton of money is what's best for this roster right now. Like, regardless of what's going on with him, we have to get somebody in the house that's not Sam Howell. You know what I'm saying? To be like, when we really get into that window that you always talk about, Draze, we have our guy who we're like, yo, no, he's him, right? And I love Geno, but Geno's not that. And so unless he surprises the hell out of me and hoists, then it's take it or leave it, because it's what's best for the team moving forward, in my opinion.
I asked the question just because I like to find out what everyone's breaking point is, right? Like, where were you? What will shift you? And so what you're basically saying is the only thing Geno can do to get paid what he wants from us is win the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
Super Bowl changes things, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
What's the Super Bowl, Pender? You
I don't think so. I think we're gonna say we're grateful. We appreciate that, Geno. That was amazing. But you're gonna have to take this discount because you're not gonna do it again next year. What are the odds of that? We got to build for the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
The odds are slim.
I want to be the guy to go out on the limb, part away from the fans with a mic, and say, if Geno wins a Super Bowl, pay the man. I'll fine. I'm sorry. It's like Joe Flacco when he got paid from the Ravens. If you do that, that's what grateful. Do you know what rings are? I got one, but I don't got one of those. When you get one of those, I'm sorry. If Geno gets us one of those, you know how grateful I'll be?
Yeah, I'm gonna be grateful. I'm gonna be grateful, but it's a business, and I'm running a business here. I need to get my guys ready for the next season.
to me, I'm looking, if Geno gets it done, that means we were able to get it done. At that point, I can still draft a quarterback.
Mhm.
Nothing stops me from doing that. That doesn't stop my draft. I can pay him, and I can still keep building my team. Everything I need to build, I can still do.
Yeah, but you will be quickly approaching what the Niners are about to be doing. Like because if he wins the Super Bowl, the check he's going to be asking for is going to be heavy, right? And he's, regardless if he hoists for us, he's not that level of good. And I just think, like you said, it's bad business. Now, I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, I get it, right? But like, if you ask me what I'm doing, like, it's just not good business to fork over that. Because yeah.
But it's not good business to not pay a Super Bowl winning. If he wanted, listen, do you know why we play?
To win the Super Bowl.
We play to win the game, right? Like,
if
we win the game, how do we keep? Seattle fans are crazy.
So, but do me in all reality, you're right. But look at this side of the coin.
Okay.
If we were to somehow win the Super Bowl this year, wouldn't you be like, I want more? Like, there's a window there now where you're like, yo, you're big on the window, like ahead of schedule. If they hoist this year, ridiculously ahead of schedule, everything is in front of you right now. And I just feel like now if you pay Geno that, it handicaps all that.
So then let me ask you a question then. You can't, okay, everything you're saying is sensible. It's also crazy, right? Because I gave you a crazy scenario. The scenario that's crazy is Geno Smith won the Super Bowl. Right. That's a crazy scenario. Yeah. So if that just happened, it is idiotic and wrong of us to think the $28 million take it or leave it deal should still stand. At least you have to tell me, okay, no. It won't be top 5 money or nothing, but he would have earned a significant pay increase from the take it or leave it $28 million deal. Tell me that shit.
That's why you have to let him walk, because like he's earned that money and he can probably get it elsewhere, but you can't. Nah.
He doesn't have.
So you're telling me he can't do what he just did? That's what you're telling me.
Do me.
We're not. What did he do? Did he throw for 500 in 5 years?
No, I'm saying the hypothetical. The point of the hypothetical is to find out, hey, what would he have to do? And I think you guys were fair all the way up to it. Like, if he took us to the playoffs, no. NFC Championship, no. We got to the Super Bowl and lost. Yep, no. Fair. But there's got to be. No one should ever be in a position.
It's enough. We've done enough.
Damn, there's nothing I can do. Like,
we brought you back and you won a Super Bowl, man. Yeah. This is the upside. This is as good as it gets.
This girl's like, yo, I had your kids. I cook you dinner every day. I wash your clothes. Damn, why won't you just love me? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna get you a house. I'm gonna get you a ride, and you never have to work again. You know what I'm saying? Like you won. You won. You was nowhere before me. But I'm just saying, all the stuff that you were just saying about Geno, how you're just like, I'm almost out of, like, that's gonna come back next year. Like, is he gonna be a completely different quarterback next year? Because we lucked up and won it this year. That's the only thing.
No, but everyone here wants to bring him back next year, though. We just want to bring him back at a discounted rate.
No, I know, but I don't want him back next year at the type of money that we would have to pay him if he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the point. I don't want to bring him back at that number. But if he won the Super Bowl, I have to consider it because he just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you consider it out of respect. You lowball him a little bit, maybe, but like ultimately,
I'm saying he's not going to get the number. I'm saying, let's say my number. So what's top dollar for quarterback? Do you know, Randy? Like, what's
$60 million.
60. Okay, perfect. So 60 million is who's that? Lamar and
no, that's what Dak just got.
Dak. Okay, Dak. 60 million. So let's say we're paying Geno right now. What is it? Somewhere between 28 and 35.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Something reasonable.
Okay. So let's say, very reasonable. And I think we paid him right. So let's say, Geno, we plan on bringing you back at that same number. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We're going to give you a 2-year deal. Same number. We can get out after it, after 1. You know what I mean? Or whatever. 3-year deal. We can get out after 2. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
We're going to get cool. So we negotiate. This is what we want to do. Geno goes and wins the Super Bowl. I can't hold that number, fam. I'm not going to 60. I'm not going to 50. I'm just telling you.
Oh, well, then we're not resigning him.
Now the number's 38.
I think that's
it ain't 60.
If he's taking a discount, then I'm sitting with my people and we're looking over the numbers. And if he was to come back for 38, that shouldn't happen. 60 million is the problem.
No, what I was trying to say to you is whatever whatever when we're thinking playoffs, AFC Championship, whatever that number is. Let's say that number for us is 30. That's the number for next year. We are not budging. If he takes us to the playoffs this year and we lose, 30's it and we're out. But he turns around and he goes to the Super Bowl and he wins it. That number has to adjust now. I'm telling you, it can't be 30 anymore. Whatever that number was, it's got to go to 40 or something. It's got to.
It's not going to 60 though.
No,
it's not going to 60.
Okay.
I'm with you.
I was saying when I was
saying, if he says he wants 60, do you still keep him because he won a Super Bowl?
No. I said my whole question was, does your number of take it or leave it go up if he wins the Super Bowl?
Okay, I missed that.
Not does it go to the stratosphere. There's no chance of him getting up there. I'm just saying, is there a number that's like still uncomfortable, but like, damn it, he won the Super Bowl, man. He just earned an extra 10 million. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? He won the Super Bowl. You don't just say, well, he can't do it again. You go, I have to now bend and put more than I want or ever wanted to, because we don't want to do more than that. But now he earned more than what we wanted, right?
We were having two different conversations. That's my fault.
Okay.
I thought you were saying he gets what he wants because he wanted. Because I don't imagine him being like, only want 38, 40 if he just hoisted.
No. He'll never get what he wants. It's just we now have to give more than we wanted. That's my point. Like right now, I was trying to find out from you guys, at what point do you give him more than you wanted, right? Because he earned it.
Super Bowl,
right?
That's it. That's the only way.
If he won the Super Bowl, I'd want to give him that if he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because I could still draft my quarterback and still have him making way below market value. So I would love to keep him.
Is there a number? Is there a way he can get more than you wanted if he doesn't win the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
Only if you hoist, because that's the only way I'm listening. I have my mind made up on Geno. I love Geno. He's not. Yeah. He's not it.
Geno has to like completely ball out, like unbelievably, undeniably, all playoffs in the losses, and completely and clearly not be on him in order for us to be like
right.
Well, let me. I believe this about Geno. I like you guys. I'm a fan. I like dude. I feel the same way, but I would not be shocked if he balled out at some point to the duration of the season. I've seen him do it. He does it in stretches. There's another question I'm pondering around Geno. Is this him? Like how he starts out fast for about 4 weeks, struggles for some weeks, and then closes out strong for some reason because he adjusts. Last year he did that where he closed out really strong. And by the end of the year, there was like 6 weeks straight. I was like, man, dude's balling, right? And so I got
Russ
a question.
Used to do that too.
Yeah, Russ was the same way. Yeah, Russ would have these strong starts, then hit the season, struggle, and then get strong, and then on into the playoffs, right? And then he balls. And so we'll see. And there's something to be said about that too. If he does, let's just say he balled the last 4 weeks and then balled in the playoffs. It's like that might be enough, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the NFL, man. You play in spurts and stuff. So my last question to you guys, I think I've seen here, we got about 7 minutes, so we'll make it quick, a minute or so from everybody's. How far do you think this Seahawks team can go? I know this question changes at the end of the year, but we still have 5 weeks left to go. We're 7-5. Got the Cardinals coming up. How far are you looking now and going, this team can go here at their best, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm going in with tempered expectation and emotion. These next 5 games, we could easily lose all 5. I think that we lose 2 out of 3. I think we're a 9-win team, 10 wins at the most. So it depends on what the Rams do, but I think we either like barely get in by winning the division or we miss because the Rams rallied and closed out better than us. But like we got Green Bay and the Vikings at home. Both those games we could lose. Our home field advantage isn't what it used to be. And then we have Arizona on the road. We have Chicago weather game potentially, and then Rams in LA. That's Big Brother still. So I'm skeptical.
My guy is skeptical, man. He is
Even though I'm
going to
loving what I'm
pick.
seeing, we haven't seen it consistently for like we need to see it for 5 more weeks straight, and we haven't seen Mike McDonald put it together 5 weeks in a row yet.
You want to go Green?
Sure. For me, I agree with him. I can still see the Seahawks missing the playoffs, like for sure. A couple things. The Cardinals, if the Cardinals win Sunday, it dramatically shifts everything again. Like everything is so close that everything, like you can't get comfortable and be like, yo, okay, no, like, you know what I'm saying? And who's best suited to deal with that in the NFC West? Second, what my prediction is going to come down to the last game of the season. Seahawks or Rams, who wins the game gets in. I think that's what's going to end up happening. And I'm not crazy about that scenario. But I think best case, they win a game. I think if they get in and they end up having to play maybe the Vikings or something, they could probably win a game. But I think once they either have to play the Lions or the Eagles, like, and go on the road, I think that's when it's going to get dark. So I think best case scenario, that's what's going to happen. But I could definitely see them missing the playoffs altogether as well.
Okay. Couple things. I agree with you, Randy. I think we can win a game in the playoffs. And after that, when we had to play Detroit or the Eagles, I think we end up losing that. That's my call. But I reserve the right at the end of this season when I see how we've been playing to change my call. But today, that's what I would say. But what do I think is going to happen? Because you guys took the question even further somewhere else to like what's going to happen the rest of the season. I disagree with the both of you. We're not losing two. We're not losing 3 of the last 5. I'm sorry. We're not losing. Yeah, we're not losing 3 of them. Right? We might lose 2. I don't think we lose 3. So where you, Pender, are like, I got us going 2 and 3. I got us at the least going 3 and 2. Does that make sense? So I don't see it that way. I think we're going to beat the Cardinals. I said this from the beginning, right, Randy? I said we will sweep someone in our division. The Cardinals we're going to sweep. So we sweep the Cardinals, and at that point we'll be 8-5. Then we're 500 the rest of the way. That's all you got to do. And I'm not saying we're going to be 500. I'm saying all we would have to do is be 500, and then we would be fine. And honestly, Randy, I doubt it ends up if what I'm saying is so just about the Cardinals. Let's not talk about nothing else. Just the Cards. If you are right, if we lose to the Cards, everything in our division flips on its head, right? Shit's wide open at that point because the Cards have a very favorable schedule down the stretch. I think they have like Carolina, you know what I'm saying? And I think they might have either Jacksonville or the Colts or something. Like they've got the type of schedule where it's like 2 of the last 4 games are very winnable. So there's only 2 people that we would have to count on to get something done for us. So winning the Cards is essential. But if we beat the Cards, because we did your hypothetical of losing, so let's go the opposite. If we beat the Cards, I think this very quickly could flip on its head. We're 2 games ahead of the 49ers. They're in our rear view right now, right? If we beat the Cardinals, we are effectively 2.5 games up on them because we would have the tiebreaker. The Rams play the Bills this week. If they lose, we would now be 2 games up on the Rams. It's a very foreseeable situation where the last week of the season, we could be resting players. Don't believe me, but just know I said it on record. And this week, if we win and the Rams lose, whole division is in a whole different place. Like the same way it could very easily be locked up. I'm acknowledging that. it very easily could be after this week. Like, man, we got some real cushion on us. It does. And typically, I wouldn't like to say what I'm saying out loud because people feel like, oh, you can't get resty. And yeah, that's a Pete Carroll thing. Mike is where the Detroit Lions coach is. Like, we're locked in. If you heard the way Mike was talking before this Jets game, Pete was the coach who wouldn't use the word trap game. Mike was throwing it out all day. This is a trap game. We do not want to, you know what I mean? He was acknowledging. Pete didn't want to acknowledge. They had two different philosophies, right? And I'm saying Mike's not going to let us let up. He's like Dan Campbell. I'm not worried about if we win and we get a 2-game lead. My point is, I'm not worried about are we going to let off the gas and get comfortable. No, if we lose, it's because we lost. But it ain't going to be because he didn't have us ready and we let off the gas. We're a team where Detroit was a couple of years ago where it's new to us. No one in this building has really won. This is new to us. We're enjoying this. We're not so full of ourselves that we're comfortable. No, we were just down on the road in New York in a tough game, and we battled back, came back, and won. That shows the mentality of this team, the switching of the mentality of this team, because that first quarter could happen to anyone, right? It was just fluke and freakish. But the point is, you're down now 21-7. What you going to do, right? And we showed what we were going to do. So, yeah, my take is we're going to beat Arizona. And after we beat Arizona, I think the Rams are going to lose to Buffalo. That they wouldn't shock me if they won either. That's the thing that is kind of like the Rams wouldn't shock me if they pulled out the Buffalo game. That's the type of thing Sean McVay does. But if I had to bet on it, they'll lose. You know what I'm saying? Just because Buffalo is Buffalo.
The only I feel everything you said. The only thing where I'm just a little more hesitant than you is they did pull out a game that it was versus a team that has throughout the season found ways to lose close games to teams that aren't very good. They found a way to lose a game to the Patriots. They found game everything that a lot of stuff you said this year has come true, and this very well could too. But I just think this week is a very big week, and you're speaking it into existence, and I respect that. For me, I just want to see it, right? Because I think now it's like the opponents are true and real, and everybody understands what's at stake. And so I think the season is getting going in both conferences right now moving forward. Yeah. And so it's going to be a fun time to watch.
Yep, well, just know what I'm saying is not crazy in terms of like, I'm just talking about Arizona. The last 4 weeks. I gave us a split.
You're exactly right.
Hella optimistic. I said 2-2. Right, that's not crazy. Yeah. To go, well, we lose to Green Bay, but then we beat Minnesota. But then you know what I mean? Or we lose to Green Bay and Minnesota, and we beat Chicago and then the Rams or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not even talking crazy. I'm just saying if we beat Arizona, this conversation and that's not crazy. We just did it.
It's not crazy at all.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like,
no, it's not crazy at all.
We beat Arizona. All of a sudden, we're 8-5.
Yeah, we have to beat Arizona. In the Rams have to lose next week. If they win, then nightmare scenario. That's when the last game of the season I think is going to come into play. Because
if they, I don't know. I say this, I won't go that far. I don't think we need to. We don't have to win. We need to win, right? It's not. We are still in sole possession of first place. So if you lose, you're only one game.
Momentum matters, though. Momentum matters.
I'm saying realistically, though, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying, okay, when I say we have to, like, let me be clear. Arizona has to win this game. Mm-hmm. We don't. Like, they're in the position of they have a worse record than us, and we already won the first one. They have to win it. We don't have to win it. We need to. It's in our better interest. We can't think like that. We need to win it. But I think you can't be in first place with a lead on everyone and being a have to win. We're not. I'm not being. Go ahead.
You're not wrong, and I feel you. I think all me and P is saying is I get where you're at, but there's still a lot of football to go. And even if the Cardinals were to lose Sunday, right, it's still very possible that the Cardinals could still win the division. You're saying they're not losing to these teams, right? And they very well, you might be right, right? You've been right about a lot. But I've seen, this is the NFL. It's hard to predict what's going to end up happening, right? And so you can't just sit here and overlook the fact that even if no one has to win, you're right. I don't think the Cardinals has to win, but they need it more than the Seahawks, right? But they don't need
my
it.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
they
talking
need it more,
mathematically.
but they don't
Mathematically,
need
they
it because
don't
they could
have
lose.
to.
Right, they could lose Sunday, and yet the Seahawks could drop the ball against the Vikings and the Bears and the whoever else is, and the Cardinals can just close out. Because I don't know how they've been winning games, and they could just very well win games. And the Rams, who have a favorable schedule too, are not going anywhere. And then we got to go there last game of the season, right? And so you're not wrong, and you're not crazy. Nothing negative about what you're saying. It's just a different perspective that we're all taking. And the beauty of it is we're going to see it and we're going to find out.
Well, you said there's a lot to be played, right? That was my
5 games.
No, I'm saying I like that. You're right. Yeah. That's a lot. That's more than a quarter of a season, right? So I'm saying, yeah, you're right. That's why if we don't have to win it. It's just the reality is we need to. But if we don't, it's a bigger game. They need it more than we do. Mm-hmm. We need it, but they need it more than us. And the fact that there's a lot of season also bodes well for us. Because if, let's say they won, now we're tied up. Well, now there's a lot of season left for us to gain ground. A lot of season is all about who needs to gain ground, right? If there's one game left in the season and you're down a game, you don't have room to gain ground. So the idea that there's 4 more games left would bode better for us if we're the team down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think, again, momentum is so important, not only in a game time scenario, but in a season scenario. And for a team that's been so up and down, right now we're streaking. And if we can continue to streak, then that's going to be good for the morale of the team and the spirit of the team and the momentum of the team. And I think that's the game outside of the game that doesn't show up numerically when I say we need to win against the Arizona Cardinals, because if we lose, we're going to go into an emotional ditch, and then we're going to have to crawl out of it.
I don't see that at all with us. I mean,
I'm going to. I don't know if the team's going to, but I'm going to.
Pender is the glass half full empty, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
listen, man. Okay, look. Let me just say this, and then I'll let you go, Green. Is two things you just said, Pender, that I just disagree with. Number one, emotionally, mentally, like I don't think you're really Pender. I don't think you've accepted the change that happened 4 weeks ago.
I don't trust it.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
trust
my
it.
point.
Not that I haven't accepted it.
No, I got you. So you don't trust it. For me, here's why I trust it. I trust it. I did not trust it after a week. I said this to Randy on our show. I said, I gotta see something for at least 4 weeks, because I always felt the defense should be good. Randy spoke to that. Like the personnel was there, and I knew Mike was a good coach, but it wasn't coming together. And then when it came together, when he made these drastic changes, 2 linebackers, bye-bye. I'm bringing in a guy for a 3rd-round pick, which says, I believe this is my staple inside linebacker. You don't trade a 3rd-round pick for a guy unless you think he's your guy. So we trade for him. And then we bring up a rookie. We cut our best linebacker on paper, who was leading the team in tackles. We elevate our rookie. And ever since then, every team we've played, it's been like, do you know the last time the Seahawks had 2 pick six in back-to-back weeks? 2012. It just happened in the last 2 weeks, right? We held Brock Purdy to his lowest passing yards in his career. All in this run. The Rams to 13 points. We held James Conner to 8 yards. Now, if I was telling you this happened over 10 weeks, I hear you, because it's spread out. It happened right after this drastic change. So I said to Randy, I said, I'm going to wait for 4 weeks. So I want you to know, Pinder, I didn't just jump in and be like, the changes are made. We're here. I was like, I'm going to wait. And it's been 4 weeks. And I said, oh, yeah, no, this is who we are. This is who this defense is. I opened the show today saying, I don't know how good we are yet. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to find out how good. But what I do know, Pinder, and you can trust, oh, no, but the D is good.
Yeah. No,
Now, is somebody going to expose us a bit? Yeah, that's football, right? Like, we're going to play Minnesota or someone's going to give us a tough, and our defense is not going to look. The Denver Broncos were the #1 defense in the NFL. Jameis Winston threw for 500 yards on them tonight and was lighting them up for like almost 4 quarters until he threw the game away. But he still balled out against them. So it can happen to anyone. But so that's my reason in going. I just want you, Green, to know when Pinder speaks, he just can't trust it. He can't. Watch, we're going to be at the end of the year. We're going to bring him back. And he's still going to be like, I just don't. He just won't believe what his eyes see. And I'm okay with that.
But I trust my heart, man. I trust my heart more than my eyes. But listen, to rewind this a little bit, speaking of Jameis, if Geno wins us the Super Bowl next year, and we got to let him go, let's bring in Jameis, man.
Let's
bring in Jameis.
No, do not bring him in. Do not.
Come on, man.
Please do not. I don't want a heart attack. Don't bring him in.
One of the greatest players to play the game.
And so I just want to make it clear on my stance, Draze, you are not crazy. You are not wrong. I am not mad at your stance, right? All I'm saying is I agree that the Cardinals needed more, but the Seahawks needed too, in my opinion, because if they lose, they're back in, like, everyone needs them to lose. And if they do, they're right back. And now at that point, they're at the disadvantage, if you ask me, due to their schedule compared to the Rams. I'm not worried about the Niners. Compared to the Rams, compared to the Cardinals, right? They have the toughest schedule with 4 games remaining, right? And so it's like, man, you got to go out and play the Vikings, the Bears. There was another good team you said.
We got to play. We play the Vikings, the Bears. We play
Green Bay. That's the
Green
team.
Bay, and we play the Rams. So the Cardinals play the Seahawks. Then they got the Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. Those were the 2 games I was saying.
Yeah.
Patriots. Then they have the Rams and the 49ers. So the Rams and the 49ers, I mean, the Cardinals and the Rams got to play each other. So there's losses you can count on in some of this too.
For sure.
Who's got to play each other. And then that game at the end against the 49ers ain't no gimme either. They're not rolling over.
None of these games are. I don't think any of the. I don't think Seahawks over the Cardinals is a gimme. I don't think any game played from this point forward is a gimme. And that's all that I'm trying to say is that everybody needs to put their helmets on and strap up and win, because you can't go into it thinking, they need it more than us. So everybody needs it because it's too much going on.
And the Rams have the Bills, they got the 49ers, the Jets, the Cardinals, and then the Seahawks. So they got a good schedule too. It'll be tough. I agree with you, Randy. Now, I wanted to say the way you worded it, that's what I agree with. I'm like, my point was that we need the game because we don't want to fall back to the pack. Now it becomes this round robin, any man's game, and I don't want to be in that. And my point was, if we lose, we fall into that. But if we win and the Rams lose, now we launch into this thing like, whoa, we got a 2-game cushion, man. That's big in the NFL because they still got. We might lose a game, but they might still lose one.
No.
So
if that happens, I'm with you. If that happens, then when we're talking next week, it's like now I'm on. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking it into existence, which I respect. I'm just saying I want to see it.
I'm saying I'm with you. I'm both. I want to see it. I'm also saying, no, this is what I think is. I truly think we're going to beat Arizona. And if I ask you right now, you got the Rams versus the Bills. Who do you got? You're probably going to pick the Bills.
Probably.
Yeah, that's all it's just me looking and going, I think the Bills, because the Bills are in a fight trying to catch
The Chiefs.
Yes.
But I
so
do know the NFL is unlike any place, man.
Back-to-back NFC games,
I'm
NFC
not
West
talking
games is hard.
Yeah.
I don't want you to hear that I'm saying they can't win. I'm not telling you the Bills. I started this saying, man, the Rams, man, that's the type of game. It'll be a good game. I said if I had to pick, I got $1,000 and I got to put it on the Rams or I got to put it on the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. So I was saying, if you had to ask me what's going to happen this weekend, we're going to beat the Cards and the Bills are going to beat the Rams. And we're going to look up and go, oh, shit.
I'm with you. I get it. All I'm saying is I was just elaborating on my different perspective is all that I'm saying. I get where you're standing, and I said I respect it, and I don't think you're crazy. I got you. You were clear.
Do you think we beat the Cardinals?
I honestly don't know. I don't got the Cardinals winning, and I don't got the Seahawks winning. I got me watching the TV and enjoying the show.
Okay. Pinder has us losing.
No, I think we beat the Cards. We traditionally beat the Cards. Like, it's a matchup thing.
Wait,
right?
you
like
just said about 10 minutes ago. So you got us to beat the Cards, and then essentially you got us to lose. I think you got us to only win one more game out of the last 4.
I think we lose to Green Bay, we lose to Chicago, and we lose to the Rams. Okay. We usually beat the Vikings. We usually beat the Cardinals. The matchup wise, we match up well with those teams and those coaching schemes. Bears is a weather game. I don't trust us in those games. We lose to the Bears a lot, especially in Chicago. And then Big Brother stays beating our ass. So
it's a new day, brother.
I hope.
We had beat the 49ers.
I'm traumatized. I'm bullied. I'm bruised, and I'm battered. And I'm tired of the Rams, man. Even though I got this LA hat on.
I'm gonna support you, brother. I'm here for you. Don't worry. I'm gonna tell you we're gonna win, and you're gonna go, you were right, man. You were right. But I disagree, but I do respect it. I'm not mad. You got us okay, so you got us to beat the Cards, but lose 3 out of the last 4, basically. Mm-hmm. You got us to collapse.
Yeah.
Because that's a collapse. I mean, if we lose 3 out of the last 4, I'm like, shit, we collapse.
To be honest, like the Seahawks have been winning, but all those games could have been like it's been, and it's the NFL. So I'm saying sometimes it ain't gonna go their way. The Niners game was a great game. Gino just went in and won the game, right? Kyler threw a pick 6 that turned the game. Now, clearly, these plays happen, but I'm just saying there's really good teams on the schedule. I wish the schedule wasn't as good. I don't like the matchups, right? But I'm not saying that the Seahawks can't win, but I'm not just like, oh, yeah. I'm just like, yo, we're going to see. I think they could make it, right? I think Pinder could be right. I think Draze could be right. Randy's just going to watch the games.
Yeah, all I'm saying is we beat the Cards, and then worst case we go 2-2. I just want to be clear that I'm not, because sometimes I think it comes off like you're acting like I didn't say we're going to run the table. I put losses on there. There's 4 games that I was like, yo, out of these 4, we're going to snag 2. I'm just going, I don't know which 2. We're snagging 2. So we're good enough to snag 2. That's not me thinking we're the best in the world. That's me going, they got to play.
I don't think they're the best in the world. They do. You're right. You're right. They do.
Us too. So, and I'm saying worst case scenario, 3-2 down the stretch. Book it.
It's booked.
It's booked. Hey, man, much love, Pinder, for joining us, brother. We want to say thank you, brother. We appreciate you. You are welcome back anytime, family.
Absolutely. This was great. I appreciate you guys.
All right, family.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
My guy.
Good show, boy.
Great show, man. I'm going to let you go. Get on the flight. Have a good time. And welcome to Miami. Miami.
Hey, Kurt. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Kurt. We over and out.
Peace.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.